everyone. Today I'm going to demonstrate DinMo's Intelligence module. So, first of all, what exactly is the Intelligence module? It allows us to predict or score various things. These include customer value and churn metrics. The idea is to have a churn risk score or an expected additional value for a customer at, say, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and so on. We also have a product recommendation module. For a given person, what would be the best products to suggest? Or conversely, for a specific product, for example, one I'd like to clear out or that I've just added to my product database A, who would be the best customers to whom I could send an email to encourage a purchase? We also have content recommendation. This is essentially the same principle as product recommendations, but for content, particularly in the publishing industry. Which article should I promote in the entertainment industry? Which video should I promote, and so on. And this is particularly important when releasing new content, knowing who the best people to target to watch it would be. The fourth module we'll offer is channel-based audience scoring. Should I contact this person via SMS, that person via email, or that person through a Facebook ad to generate revenue for myself? And the last module we offer is RFM segmentation, which is fairly standard, based on recency, frequency, and monetary value. Is this a high-risk customer, a VIP, etc.? In any case, we'll have 2 phases of using this intelligence module. One phase is really related to training, where I input the data my model will train on. And a prediction phase, where I tell DinMo precisely what I want. Typically, if I take the product recommendation example, I'll have a training phase. What transactions am I training on? Do I take into account engagement events like product viewed, product added to wish list, etc.? And so, that's really training. Then I can make a prediction. I can have several predictions made during the same training session. Do I want the top 3 products for a given person? Or do I want, for a given product that has just been added to my database, the best people who match that product? So, for all the training configuration, I can tell DinMo the data I need to take into account. Here, I need to provide customer information. Which customers can I make my prediction on? Do I take 100% of my database? Or do I pay, for example, only for French customers, only for English customers, etc.? Next, I'll provide the model that contains my transactions because it's the master model that determines whether a person is interested in a product or not. It starts with knowing what they've already bought and what products similar to them have already purchased. It also requires a notion of quantity. If someone has bought 18 pairs of jeans and only 1 t-shirt, they're generally more likely to be interested in the pants, for example, than the t-shirt. Obviously, this is DinMo's proprietary algorithm that determines what a person is most interested in, but we understand why it's taken into account. Similarly, I need to provide information about the product and specify the level at which I want to train my prediction. The most recommended approach is to start with a low level, like the SKU, and then I can make predictions at scale, category, and so on. So I'm really going to train my model on the SKU of all my products, which SKU an individual has already purchased, and so on. And then, if I want a category-wide recommendation, is it more interested in the pants? Just t-shirts, for example. No problem, I'll do it at the prediction level. So I'm saying I'll do it at the product ID level, which is essentially the SKU. Similarly, I can take different attributes into account in my training. Do I want to take user attributes into account? Gender, age, and skin type, for example, if we sell cosmetics. So here I can say, yes, I want to take user attributes into account, and it will show me all the user attributes that exist in my database. In this case, I don't have a table with interesting data, but again, we could have included age, gender, skin type, etc. Anyway, these are really the attributes we're going to include. And in the same way, do I take product attributes into account? I advise you to say yes. And so, again, we don't have a huge number of them here, but the idea is to include size, color, that kind of thing, depending on your company as well. Likewise, I can choose the time period over which I train the algorithms. So either on all available data, or you can use a different period. And in those cases, you can remove periods that shouldn't be considered because, for example, It might be Black Friday, a sales event, etc. And this skews what was purchased and therefore the recommendations we could make. So here, I'm creating my product recommendation training program, project recommendation. It will take some time. It will run. It will train on your data, and then it will say, I have a training program that has been run. Do we want to make predictions? So right now, in this case, it's running. And I could say, I'm configuring my predictions now to get, for example, a top 3 list of products for each person. In this instance, I'm going to use the Configure Letter option to access training programs that have already been configured. But here, we can see that training, especially in running, can take several hours, particularly when you have a lot of historical data to really train on your data, and then be able to make predictions. If I go to a product that has already been configured, I'll have several pieces of information. So, the quality of the training. Here we see it's at 62%. That's good. It's not amazing, but it still allows me to have a good basis for making recommendations. And then I can create different predictions. So just by clicking on New Prediction, I choose the type of prediction I want to make. Again, do I want to recommend products for a user? So, for example, I recommend jeans, then a t-shirt, then socks to this person. Or for a given product, like these size S jeans I just brought up, which person would be most likely to be interested? In this case, I'm going to choose the recommended products for a user. I can do this on all my profiles or for a specific data segment. If I want to send a promotion to customers at risk of churn, I can choose that segment. I specify the number of products I recommend to them, and in this case, I want the top 3 and I choose not to include products they've already purchased. So, the recommendations I make will be for items they've never bought, even if they might be interested in repurchasing something they've already had. And so, I specify the top products to buy for these people. And there you go. Then I can save this prediction. This will trigger a run. Here, I did it manually. So it will give me a one-time list of the top 3 products for each person for today. Alternatively, I can have a refresh every day, every hour, etc., which will take into account new transactions or new engagement events for a person on the website. Typically, if since the last prediction, the person has added something is added to their wish list, and this will be taken into account, thus changing the prediction for that specific person. So, here again, this creates a log. We can see that the prediction is running. If I go to a prediction that has already been made, the top users for a product can see the model it generated, which is updated with each prediction change. And so, we see that for each user ID, each person, there will be a recommended product and a prediction score. So, am I confident in the prediction I made for that person? I could recommend a t-shirt as number 1 and have a confidence score close to 1, which is very high, or close to 0, which is very low. We really advise you to also look at this score and the activations you've done since a certain rank. So, is it the top 1, top 2, top 3, and so on, and how long has it been since it was last ranked? Did the person take an action that changed this prediction or not? So this is really the model that can be used and activated directly to a destination. Otherwise, behind the scenes, we can create calculated fields at the client model level to generate, for example, an aggregated list of all the products I recommend for this person. Then I'll send it to my CRM so it can use it as a dynamic attribute and display. For example, product number 1, product number 2, and product number 3 in an email. And so here I'll retrieve my prediction. For example, I want to send an aggregated list of product 1 and product 2. So I want a ranking less than or equal to 2, and I want to create an aggregated list. It's not called the recommended item ID. I'll have a preview for people. So we see that for each given ID, their number 1 product is this one, their number 2 is this one, and so on. And I'll have this for all my users. And behind this top product, I'll be able to send it to my CRM to use as a dynamic attribute in my emails, communications, and so forth. Generally, for other types of intelligence, it will be the same. There's always training and predictions provided to potentially have, as we said, a churn risk, a LTV at 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, etc., content recommendations in a similar way, For a given person, their number 1 channel, their number 2 channel, their number 3 channel, and segmentation. There you go. Feel free to ask questions.